Hello everyone, Kumar here. As promised, I'm here to give you my first thoughts and not really a review but a commentary of what I liked and didn't like about the Assassin's Creed movie. Now, going into this, you need to go into this knowing that it's just going to be another video game movie. If you go into it thinking that, oh yeah, this is the one that's going to blow me out of the water, this is the one that's going to break that cycle, you're going to be disappointed. So go into it knowing that it's just another video game movie. With that being said, I'm going to talk about the things I liked and the things I didn't like about it. Now, what I liked. Well, here's what gave me hope about the movie. I did some research on it, and I found out that there was a very strong behind-the-scenes crew on this movie. For example, let's start with the head honcho first, the director. The director, his name is Justin Kurzel, and he's known for directing. Well, he hasn't directed a whole lot, but the two films he's known for directing has won him. First award has won him a few awards, and the second one got him nominated at the Cannes Film Festival Award for Best Independent British Film. So yeah, very solid director. On the producers I could look up, Michael Fassbender is one of them, but more importantly, this man called Frank Marshall, he's produced or helped produce the Indiana Jones movies. That's right, the Indiana Jones movies. So very strong producers in this movie. There was quite a few more I couldn't really look up. The actors and actress. There's three of them. Michael Fassbender, number one. As I said before, can do no wrong. Pretty solid actor in my opinion. He's known for being Magneto in X-Men First Class and Magneto in X-Men Apocalypse. And he was also known as that warrior in 300 who goes, "We are with you, sire, with Sparta, to the death, yeah." He's that dude. Leading actress, her name is Marion Cotillard, a French actress, and she's known for playing Talia al Ghul in The Dark Knight Rises. Last but certainly not least, Jeremy Irons. Now, what is Jeremy Irons known for? You can tell by his voice. He does the voice of Scar in the Lion King movies. He's also played Alfred in Batman v Superman. And he's been nominated for an Academy... Well, not nominated, but he's been awarded the Academy Award. So, he's a very solid actor. And the Academy Award also has been awarded to Marion Cotillard. So, very strong actors here. Michael Fassbender has been nominated for the Academy Award. So, a very strong group of actors. Another thing I liked was the time period. Now, as a fan of the franchise, I've always wanted to go to the Spanish Inquisition and find out how the game would play out there. And I'm happy it was that the movie took place in the Spanish Inquisition, but as a player I was kind of disappointed I wouldn't be able to play it. Maybe in the future, we'll see. But I liked that the series touched upon the Spanish Inquisition, and I loved how it looked. It looked dark, it looked depressive, and there was a smoke effect, and that's something I didn't like either, but I'll get to that when I get there. I liked how there was a constant smoke effect where it looked like someone was being burned at the stake at all times. That's how the movie looked. The combat in Pak Hour. The combat in this movie was on point. When the assassins showed up, they're all about business. But after, the initial, surprise attack wore off, it looked like you could take down the assassins, with ease. So that's something I didn't like. But when they showed up, the combat looked really, really cool. And the Pak Hour, on point as well. There's a giant chase scene where they're running around the town, and they end up in a cathedral, and then you see Michael Fassbender's character, and he's about to take that leap of faith, and he jumps down. You kind of feel that head rush a little bit, so at least I did, and I thought that was really cool. And I liked how it was faithful to the game. What I mean by that is it used a lot of the language and a lot of the sayings and everything. Example of this, what is known in the game is known as the bleeding effect. They brought that into the movie as well. Now, the bleeding effect hasn't really been touched upon in the game. I think the last time they really touched upon it was Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. I haven't really got that far in with Syndicate, but Brotherhood was the last time I heard of it. Now, the bleeding effect, to tell you about that, I have to tell you about the world of Assassin's Creed itself. Now, Assassin's Creed takes place where a world exists where this machine called the Animus can take your DNA, decode it, and it can read the memories of your ancestors, and you can go back and relive your ancestors' memories. So now the longer you stay in this state, when you get out, you'll feel something what's known as the bleeding effect, where you'll see a hallucination of your ancestor, or you'll see a hallucination of a horse pushing a plow, or people of that time period, and it's not there, it's all in your head, and that's what's known as a bleeding effect. So I'm glad they used a lot of the language from the games into the movie. Now, even though it's kind of like it seems small, but to me, that's what makes up most of the movies, of the good parts. Now, here's some things that kind of like took me out of it. Sorry, I'm burping up the popcorn. Confusing story. What I mean by that is Michael Fassbender's character, and it's not his fault, I chalk it up to the writing. I really didn't feel the motivation from the character. Like, you see in the very start, as him as a young boy, something happens, and then you pick up the story later on, 30 years, and he's in prison, and he's about to be executed. And that's not a spoiler, you see this in the trailer. Now he's about to be executed, put to death, he wakes up, and he's in Abstergo, and he's like, oh, I hate the Templars because, no, I hate the Assassins because they did this. But then at the end of the movie, he's like, oh yeah, I'm totally cool with the Assassins, boom, in my blood. So it's kind of weird. Okay, so another thing which I thought was hilarious, and it just really took me out, was the pure ineffectiveness of Abstergo. Now, what I mean by that is, when they bring Michael Fassbender into their highly unsecure prison facility, he's not the only one there. All the other patients, I guess, are assassins. Yeah, highly trained and effective in killing machines, assassins. And what does Abstergo do? And I guess because they really wanted to kind of like convey some sort of mood with Abstergo, as like they're really big on history. They have all these glass, reinforced glass things where you have like artifacts and stuff like that from all over the world, and it's mainly pertaining to the assassins. Now, what are some of these artifacts? Papers, photos, weapons. Yeah, weapons. So, you have a facility of highly trained assassins with very little guard. They're not in their like little prison rooms or everything. They're just walking around. And then you're surrounding them with weapons. Reinforced glass, but there's still weapons there. I'm just letting that sink in. What could possibly go wrong? Yeah. Okay, so highly ineffective at their job, and the guards at Abstergo, all they have is like blunt weapons or crossbows, and I don't know. It just seems like they're forgotten about this one great invention that can basically subdue anybody in just a drop of a hat. What is it? Oh yeah, firearms. So when I'm not gonna say anything, but like, okay, when shit hits the fan, these guys are trying to bring him down with clubs and crossbows. Okay, so Abstergo highly ineffective at what they're doing. So one thing I was like, huh? And one thing I said that I liked, but it was also kind of like too much, was the cinematography. It was constant throughout the film. Now, what I mean by constant is the cinematography used in going to the past is also used in the future, or the present time, if you will. And it was very dark and present, and that was constant throughout the film. Now, in the games, the actual time period has its own look. In the first game, it takes place during the First Crusade, or not the First Crusade, Third Crusade. It has its own look. It's very dark, dusty, depressive looking. But when you fast forward during the Renaissance in Assassin's Creed 2, everything looks like things are building up. It's still a little dirty, but things are looking up, And once you start building up the city, it starts looking from old, dirty, nasty to being beautiful. But every time you go into the present time, it looks clean, it looks sterile, it's bright, it's beautiful. So there's like a difference between what's happening in the actual game world and what's happening in the present day, but they keep that entire cinematography style throughout the entire movie, and it just doesn't feel right to me. It kind of made the world too depressing in my eyes. Another thing I really didn't like was the shoehorned, I guess, love dynamic between Michael Fassbender's ancestor's character and his female assassin comrade. There's a scene where they're about to be put to death, and right before they go out there, there's a scene that's very reminiscent of what happened in Attack of the Clones with Padme Amidala looking in Anakin's eyes. She's like, "We're about to die anyway. I truly, deeply love you." And it felt very forced. And that's what I'm trying to get at. It felt very forced. Like, they really didn't need it. It wasn't really touched upon again until like maybe later on in the film, but it really served no purpose to the story. It really didn't have any character development to have that kind of story anyway. So it was just, it was just wasted potential. The Templar Order. Now, in the games, the Templar Order is akin to the Illuminati, where the only people that believe they exist are conspiracy theorist crazies and hipsters. As far as the rest of the world is concerned, there is no Templar Order. It's like they're in secret and this and that. But in this movie, it's like, yeah, we're the Templars. Yeah, we're right in your face. We're trying to take over the world. Yeah. Well, no, they're not trying to take over the world. They're trying to cure aggression. That's the main idea behind the Templars. And there's a part in the movie where like all these Templar higher-ups, they convene in this grand meeting hall in London where you see 3 Templar crosses. 2 on like the front door and 1 on top of the building. It's like they're shouting that we exist. If there was ever a secret society, I'm pretty sure they would never do anything like that. So it was just a little weird. But all in all, I'm going to say, if you go into this movie, with some, go into this movie with no high hopes, you're going to be okay. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad either. I wasn't disappointed at all. I was looking at the positives the entire time I saw the movie, but there are some things I didn't like. If you're a fan of the franchise, you might find something out of it. I did. It was okay in my opinion. If you've never really played any of the games and you really want to kind of like get into them, find out what the big fuss is about, you're better off talking to your friends about the series and playing a game. If you're trying to get into the series by this movie, it's probably not the best way to go. But as I said, aside from that, it was an okay movie. You might not remember all the characters' names and this and that, like I forgot already. So yeah, it was an okay movie. I don't know what I'm gonna do for my next video though. I've been playing Resident Evil 0 for the past few days, and this is my first time really playing it. And I don't know. Once I'm done with it, I play around with some of the extra modes. I might make a video on that. Who knows? I mean, I'm really into it. I played Resident Evil 1, and I enjoyed the hell out of that. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. All right, guys. Well, thank you for your time. Y'all have an excellent night. And if I don't make another video before Christmas, I just want to say Merry Christmas, or if you don't subscribe to Christmas, Happy Holidays. Well, whatever you celebrate, Happy Holidays. So take it easy, guys. Kumar out.